22 mini cucumbers. Some I let get too big again this week. Still a few more cucumbers on the vines. Some more blossoms blossoming. Leaves are starting to look kind of cruddy. Lettuce is lettucing even though I haven't watered this batch because the hose, I'm not gonna fix it. I've got all of this lettuce here in the basil greenhouse. It could use another week, but I might need it. I've got my bed of baby romaine mix, kale transplants here, and you know, these were looking really nice last week. I wanted to give them another week to get a little bit bigger. Some of it's looking really nice, but then there are sections that are just getting eaten by caterpillars that, you know, would have been living in the soil before I covered it. So this lettuce is a lot worse than it looked initially. Just like so much caterpillar damage that it's not worth me trying to find any good leaf. So I'm just pulling it out. And this kind of helps me decide. I've been hemming and hawing about whether I should sell after, you know, my last day selling at the garden on Friday. I thought, oh, hey, I can cut this whole bed of baby romaine mix and have some salad mix. And then the following week, I could go into the greenhouses and get the lettuce in there, which would be a little bit more mature. And, you know, I've got lots of carrots. You know, I've got some other things, but now it looks like I don't even know what I'm going to get for salad mix this week. And I'm already going, you know, selling 1 week longer than I have in the past. I usually always finish the very end of August. And so I think I just need to be done for this reason and other reasons. I am finding a few caterpillars, which I'm pulling out. But I expect there might be some still in there that might get at this kale. So I don't know if it's worth leaving the kale in, but I'm just gonna, here's one right here. Oh, you can't probably tell because it's green like my glove, but I'm finding quite a few of these. This bed here before was spinach, which was just infested with caterpillars. And I thought when I pulled the spinach, you know, harvested and pulled the spinach out, that, you know, the caterpillars would have nothing to eat, so they'd either crawl away and go somewhere else or die or whatever. And then maybe when I seeded this baby romaine mix, that they wouldn't be a problem. But there's enough of them left in this soil that it's a problem. So anyway, it was worth trying. Yeah, here's another one. See, I just keep finding them like this. Caterpillars. These are cutworms, probably spotted cutworms. Lettuce removed. And I grabbed just a little bit because I saw some clean patches, but most is going in the compost. I decided to throw some Agrabah row cover on here. It's a little heavier than the insect netting and it'll give the kale some warmth. I realized that, you know, last week I was counting my row cover and insect netting and stuff, and I missed 2 long 40 lengths of Agrabah that I had stashed somewhere else. So I pulled that out and threw that on here. Plus that insect netting that was on this bed before, I didn't count that either. So I have more row cover insect netting than I thought I did. The caterpillars, I probably didn't get them all out. I'm sure there's some in there, and they're just gonna now focus on the kale. But I'm just gonna give it a try. Yeah, it's getting a little bit cooler, so I thought maybe some blankies would help. Trying to find some big carrots in the garden. Those are pretty big. I'm gonna cut off the top of a kale that was pushing through the insect netting. Okay, I'm in the basil greenhouse with the lettuce in the walkway. Should I try and cut this lettuce for salad mix? I'm gonna see how much, maybe 4 heads weighs to see how much poundage it might give me. I'm gonna cut all of this basil. All of this basil. This is it, folks. 2 basil plants is about 2 ounces. And 4 little tiny lettuce heads is a little over 2 ounces. I had decided that I was not going to do lettuce mix this week. And then I was like, well, actually, I have, I've got bags of salad mix already, plenty of them for us. And so this stuff's just gonna keep growing, then it's gonna be too big. And so I might as well just cut it at this stage and go out with a bang and have salad mix. So yeah, I'm cutting the lettuce here in this walkway and in the other greenhouse walkway. And I'm gonna be prepping salad mix for the last time. Well, the last time for selling anyway. Okay, dudes, let's see how much that weighs. I'm in the cucumber greenhouse and I got my walkway of lettuce. It's raining outside and I was gonna go out and get like some spinach and baby chard or something. Okay, so it stopped raining and I was able to get some of this solanova out here and just got a little bit. Oakley dokley, I'm gonna grab some of this new growth on the baby chard and any of this spinach leaf that I can scrounge up. Oakley dokley, I actually got a lot more spinach leaf than I thought I'd get. And some baby chard. Okay, folks, scrounging for just a little bit more lettuce, just to be on the safe side. Salad mix, 2 batches, starting now. So pretty. I wish I had more of it. Almost 20 bags. When caterpillars are desperate, they'll eat carrot tops. Bugs are out. I harvested from this bed of carrots that I harvested from last week. Instead of like digging up a section, I hunted for the bigger size carrots because I hate dealing with the little carrots. I ended up excavating into this clover infested bed of carrots to get some big guys. 8 3-pound bags of carrots plus 5 more is 13. Oakley dokley, so I really cut hard on this bed of basil here and got a little bit from here to get my 21 3-ounce bags to sell tomorrow. It's getting dark and the leaves on the basil are starting to get wet, so I don't really want to pick any more. I've still got, let's see, 12 ounces I need to get for the restaurant. So I'm hoping I can do that tomorrow. Maybe it'll dry it up by the time I can get that. Yeah, otherwise I'm done with basil. Got 1 more 3-ounce bag and 2 6-ounce bags for the restaurant. And yeah, I've got both of these beds completely stripped down. I could have sold more basil. I need to grow more basil. Oftentimes I'll wait and I think, oh, well, this basil will last. And then kind of overnight, all the leaves turn black and gross. And so might as well get them all now, right? Total of 22 3-ounce bags of basil plus 2 6-ounce bags. I've got, a few more cucumbers coming on here. 6 more cucumbers, plus one that hopped. Oakley dokley, I've got now 10 2-packs of cucumbers and 2 special 4-packs. 12 bunches of parsley, and I have pretty much maxed out my refrigeration space. This afternoon, I'm gonna do my usual pull the carrots out of the refrigerator, put some ice packs on them, then go out and get the kale and collard greens. I've got 2 bunches of kale, early orders.
5 chard, 12 collard greens.
I talked last week about getting a new freezer to freeze kale and other things out in the garden. And it is here this week. It just needs to be set up. So I'm hoping I can get to that, pluck all this kale out, freeze it before it starts pouring down rain out here, which is forecast for next week. 8 bunches of kale from that half bed with the collard greens. 10 bunches of kale from the 2 half beds. Okay, dudes, last day selling. Okay, folks, I'm done. Not done, but I'm done selling the garden. I got a little bit of raspberries. There's not many berries left on the raspberry plants. So here's the thing. I had signed myself up for the community market, which is once a month, and so that is tomorrow on a Saturday. It means I have to harvest tomorrow morning. I was thinking mostly carrots because I don't really have much else, maybe some parsley, but just like mostly carrots. So this selling from the garden using this online sales platform has been so much less stress. In fact, I'm not stressed. I'm not really stressed. The only thing I stress out about is not having enough refrigeration space, and if I can harvest everything and jam it in there. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and do this again next year. I'll probably do a video in the future where I talk more about like the sales platform, what I like or dislike about it, and just all of that sort of thing, what it's like selling at the garden, and and just do a video about that. But for now, I'm just done, but not done. So I didn't harvest my little tiny patch of green onions this week because they're just such a pain in the butt to prep. And these guys are awfully tiny. But I've got some leeks from my little leek patch back there. I made myself some notey notes so I can remember what I'm gonna say. First of all, last night I decided not to do the market today. I sent them a message saying I wouldn't be there because I just got to thinking that I'll be out here hunting for big carrots because I've already cleaned out a lot of the big carrots, and I'm not set up to prep, carrots without their tops that I'd be digging out from the clover. And I really need to focus on my upcoming projects, which is I've got to get some beds cleared out here, get my garlic planted, and harvest my potatoes. And so they are still growing because I planted them late. So I'd like to give them some time, but I do need to get them out because at the beginning of October, I've got a trip planned to go to Colorado to visit family for a couple of weeks. So I've got to get all of this done, everything tidied up before I do that. So that is my winter project, is to finish that walk-in cooler. I got things started, I got things cleared out. But I do need to finish that hopefully this winter so that I have a year of lots of refrigeration space. Right now, I am going to focus on getting that kale over here. I'm going to pull the row cover off, get it rolled up. I'm going to get all the leaves, stuff them into bags, and probably put them in the refrigerator. And then once we get the freezer set up, then I'm just going to stuff them in that freezer. So yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking about putting the garlic over there, or maybe the garlic over here where the carrots and other things are, but I'm not quite sure yet. So I just need to get things cleared up. I've got all of the kale and the collard greens stripped down to mostly nothing, and a bunch of damaged leaf on the side that I'll pick up tomorrow. And yeah, these bigger hoops work really great for when the kale gets taller and doesn't fit underneath the smaller hoops. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that again next year. So I've got all of this leaf pulled off. What am I gonna do for eating fresh kale once that's frozen? Well, I've got this whole bed of kale, which seems to be surviving. Oogly doogly, I've got 5 tubs full of kale, except for this one, which isn't quite full. And I've just got them temporarily stashed here until I can bag them and put them in the freezer. I grabbed 3 bunches of green onions for salads tonight. Sky is clouding up. I've been working on these 2 beds, potato forking both of them. In the spring, I scraped the seaweed off the beds into the pathways. It composted, and I just scraped this pathway back onto this bed. So I still need to do that with all these other beds. Yeah. This is where I'm planting my garlic. 4 beds. But we'll talk about that next week. See you then.